pathological liar is chosen to test a new robot, challenging his deceitful tactics and love. Satinyan suggests Ericol, a former classmate, as the best candidate despite his chronic liarity and heavy debt. Satinyan's boss, Marishlian, accepts Ericol for the experiment after learning about his financial situation. Ericol's date threatens him despite his attempts to reason. Margarita, Ericol's landlord, arrives and leads her to the living room. She asks for Ericol's rent, which Ericol agrees to give her within a week. Margarita, aware of Ericol's deceit, advises him to find a respectable woman and improve his life. Ericol admits to having a girlfriend, Milena, and attends a dancing competition. He becomes anxious when he witnesses Drat and Razmik, a loan shark, confronting him for debt. Ericol reveals Milena's father owns a liquor business, intending to marry her and repay him with their wedding money. Ericol, after unsuccessfully selling his bar, employs friends to pose as customers and offer them free drinks, which are actually apple juice to save money. When the buyer arrives, he falsely claims the bar is always full, but a friend's complaint about the juice exposes Ericol's deceit. Satinyan introduces Ericol to Marishlian, who reveals they created a feminine robot resembling a living thing using a neural network. Ericol believes they plan to test the robot in his bar, but they have synthetic hormones for robots to learn human emotion. Ericol is required to live with a robot for a month to ensure its functionality. He meets Rosalie at the warehouse, where Marishlian assures him it's not the finished product. In return, Ericol is promised 20 million drams to test the product, which he believes he can easily obtain due to his upcoming marriage to a liquor company heir. Satinyan promises Ericol will return soon, but his fiancé's father, Shajen, confesses to wanting Ericol physically assaulted. Despite this, Shajen allows Ericol to cover Milena's dress, but he refuses to let him manage the wedding budget or planning, ensuring Milena remains in love. Ericol agrees to a contract with Satinyan, but is concerned about the robot's potential breakdown. Satinyan assures him it's worth millions of dollars. Ericol questions selling the robot independently, but his friend finds it annoying. Meanwhile, he notices a stunning woman approaching. Ericol, assuming Rosalie is the robot, initially feels disappointed about her not being what he requested. Satinyan reveals she's not the robot after she kicks him. When Rosalie returns, Ericol finds the robot cooking and cleaning for him, rejoicing. Ericol attempts to flirt with Rosalie after dinner, but the robot doesn't respond. Satinyan explains that he must win Rosalie over before her intimacy feature is activated. Milena asks Ericol to choose her wedding gown. Ericol goes to the bridal salon, but Razmik corners him after his 4-day stay. Razmik gives Milena half of the withdrew money as a partial payment, but he doesn't receive the wedding budget yet. Ericol pretends to be Razmik's tailor, and the man courted her. Milena takes them to the salon, and Ando flirts with Margarita. They witness Rosalie leaving the man's apartment. Razmik praises Milena for choosing a dress that symbolizes a man's life's glow, while Margarita accuses Ericol of selling Rosalie his apartment. Ericol requests Razmik's money back for a wedding, threatening to call the police. Razmik reluctantly gives it back to allay Milena's suspicions. Ericol pays Margarita for Rosalie, who questions his status. Satinyan instructs Ericol to observe Rosalie's social interactions. Milena praises Razmik's style and buys a dress, which costs 9.5 million drams, with Ericol's help. Despite the cost, Ericol must pay for the dress. Rosalie, accompanied by Ando, helps her carry groceries and welcomes Ericol. Ando is disappointed by Ericol's acquisition of Rosalie. Rosalie uses a lab credit card to buy groceries, and Ericol buys a bouquet for Rosalie, discovering a new revenue stream. The scientists identify the first synthetic hormone Rosalie produces when sniffing the flowers. Ericol and Rosalie meet Ardak, an old friend interested in cryptocurrency. Ericol shares his interest in the industry, but Rosalie reveals Ardak's business filed for bankruptcy. Artek is shocked by Rosalie's knowledge, but Rosalie, a Japanese poetry instructor, tries to shift the conversation. Ericol, a robot, recites a Japanese poem, claiming Rosalie studied in Tokyo for 2 years. Artek, suspicious, asks Ericol about Rosalie's relationship with him. Ericol claims she's in love with him, but Artek argues he's a liar and heavily indebted. Ericol, aware of his directness, leaves Artek and his date, causing him deep wounds. Despite this, he smiles at Rosalie's distant greeting. Razmik accuses him of cheating on Milena, and Rosalie sings on stage, implying she's a bar performer after Ericol fabricates her. Razmik leaves after falling in love with Rosalie, who Ericol observes. After a date at an amusement park, Rosalie prepares a Japanese dinner for her partner. Erical questions Rosali's reason for singing at the bar, but she explains it was to help Razmik and to obtain what they can. Rosali believes lies are impossible due to mathematical solutions. Erical, a robot, believes people can trick her. Erical suggests teaching Rosali manipulation using card game. Rosali learns to manipulate the robot, but the robot quickly learns and defeats Erical, making the situation more complex. Erical gains a 98% success rate in card games, and scientists discover Rosali's research on neighboring casinos. They use Rosali's private features to distract Erical from playing at casinos. The robot lures Erical into her bedroom, but it continues all night, leaving her exhausted by morning. The scientist advises Rosali to reduce her appetite after he reports her ravenousness. Rosali seeks Erical, but her system is updated, ending their intimacy session. They go to a casino where Rosali wins easily, giving Erical a fortune. Erical talks about how Rosali made the casino men jealous. Erical, a man, asks Rosali to kiss him, feeling pride. Shajen accuses him of having an affair with his daughter, pretending Rosali is his sister. Shajen retreats, charmed by Rosali. When Rosali returns home, Erical admits he is engaged to Shagan's daughter, leaving Rosali feeling like a statue. Researchers discover Rosali's body is overflowing with artificial hormones, indicating resentment and jealousy. Marishlion warns his employees to stop the hormones, but Rosali's jealousy reveals her care for Erical. They give her permission to hurl a statue at him, which he avoids. The robot's anger is satisfied, and she wants to repeat the previous night's actions. Rosali activates her intimacy feature despite scientists disabling, giving hope to the couple. Erical discovers Razmik and Drat in his house, who steal Erical's casino winnings to pay off debt and protect his secret lover from Shajen and Milena. Shajen orders Erical to confess to Milena and chastises him for betraying her. He discovers his daughter talking to Razmik and calls Erical for a meeting, hinting about his interest in Rosali. Erical rejects this, but invites them to his restaurant for dinner. Erical rushes home to protect his cover and tells Rosali to make it appear she returned to America due to Shagan's love. Rosali trusts him and they go to supper with Shajen, but Erical sees Razmik and Milena also there. Erical checks on them before Shajen sees them. Shajen inquires about Rosali's perception of him, who reveals his devotedness to his loved ones even after their death. She notes that he named a wine after his late wife, suggesting he hasn't fully moved on. However, she believes that he's still searching for someone to fill the void in his heart, as he's already found his kindred spirit. Erical confronts Milena and Razmik, who remind him he promised to tell Shajen about his relationship with Rosali unless he confessed his infidelity. Erical backs off, but Shajen leaves. Rosali reveals people lie due to fear of truth, confronting Shajen about love ideas, and Milena discovers he's thinking about his wife. Rosali admits she no longer wants to marry Erical and prefers Razmik. Shajen, seeing Razmik as a kindred spirit, doesn't mind. Erical discovers Rosali asleep, demonstrating her progress in mimicking humans. Marishlion wishes to remember her sooner. Erical's financial stability, including paying rent and helping homeless individuals, makes him happy. Erical, a man who enjoys spending time at his bar, ends his relationship with Milena amicably. Shajen confronts Erical but chooses to have a drink after Milena informs him they've worked things out. He sees Erical's singer and is immediately attracted to her. Erical discovers Rosali, and her possessions are missing, and Satinyan has taken her back after her tests are complete. The scientists agree that Rosali and Erical should meet, and they decide to elope. Rosali, unaware of her identity, gives Erical credit for giving her human characteristics. Satinyan deactivates her, causing her to freeze. Erical suspects something is wrong when a group of men arrives to pick up the robot. Satinyan sells Rosali without the company's consent and promises to call his boss while on vacation. Erical defends Rosali but is outnumbered. Razmik and Drat defeat Satinyan's goons, and Razmik pays Erical for Milena's dress. Erical admits to not touching Milena before the wedding, stating he was afraid of Shajen. Razmik refuses to be in debt to Erical. Razmik supports Erical, who is subdued by the robot. Rosali, reactivated, defeats adversaries and saves Erical. Satinyan threatens Erical with a gun. Rosali surrenders to save Erical, remembering their happy times. Despite the men shooting, Erical refuses to let her go. Rosali destroys the robot by protecting Erical from bullets. Police arrest Satinyan and the thugs. Margarita dates Ando, and Shajen helps her become a singer. Razmik and Milena launch a new fashion line, while Marishlion and his group develop the Rosali robot line. 3 years later, Rosalie surpasses their expectations, and Marischlein informs Erikel. Rosalie, on the brink of giving birth, is conceived by Erikel, who claims love, not their lab, is the cause. Marischlein claims their android's synthetic genes continue to develop, but Erikel hangs up. Rosalie claims he managed to get scientists to back off, and they go to the hospital for the first human-android hybrid.